Here we are in my new bathroom that we just remodeled. I love the floor. I love it so much. The original floor was a really ugly linoleum over concrete. The color was a yellowish brown and the texture was ugly, and I wanted to cover up everything about it. This is the hallway space outside of that bathroom, and this is the almost completed project that I'll be demonstrating in the video today. We begin by masking the walls up nice and high, and through the rest of the steps of the project, stay tuned.
Put plastic all the way to the floor, so I plan on hanging, trim around the bottom, maybe 3 inches high, something similar to this. I think it would make it nice and cohesive. So I'm not being really careful about trimming it, taping it all the way to the floor. How high I mask is really important because I had to clean a lot of paint off the already painted walls. Last time I did this, I flung paint a little farther than what I thought. So I used some really cheap plastic bags. They make this noise. They're really cheap. In that room, they were so staticky because they were new out of a package that they just stuck to the wall. I didn't even need any tape. I did put some tape up, so when I used a fan later to dry different layers of paint, I didn't want them blowing around, but this was an old bag that I had stuffed somewhere and it wasn't very staticky, so. So the other floor we did with a Valspar exterior semi-gloss paint, and I liked how when I splashed it around, it stayed ridged up, which was it was necessary to cover up the texture of the floor that I didn't like. Valspar was more expensive, and this time I went to Home Depot and bought a similar paint. I'm hoping it has the same effect. It's a little bit cheaper. It was I don't know, $23 for the can. And the first thing we're going to do is paint the whole floor, just kind of splash down some of this paint so that, where we don't have more squiggles and stuff, you'll just see, this color anyways. Through the process, we're going to amend this paint to get different shades. And what I normally do is buy white paint and buy black paint. It doesn't seem to matter what kind of paint I use as long as the base paint is good. So I'll, paint it the basic color and then do a layer, splashing around. And I usually do from dark to light. So I'll end up mixing every time I do a layer. I'll pour some of this into another can and add black to it. And as I go through the process, I'll add less black and then eventually do some white to make it lighter than this. The color I picked this time was a medium tannish brown. It needs some mixing, but I figured, add some black, it'll be darker, add some white, it'll be lighter. But I start with like a medium base color. I like this process a lot because there's nothing exact about it. It's like playing with finger paint when you're a kid. Your kids can help you. At least with the Valspar, I'm not sure about this paint, it dried pretty quick. If I put a fan on it, within an hour, I could walk on it and do another layer. So, it might be tough to do it in one bathroom if you all use that bathroom every single day. But I figure if it only takes an hour or two to dry, maybe it'll be a little bit easier, while the kids are at school or whatever. I also stick to kind of small spaces with this. I can't imagine doing this, throughout a larger room. I like doing it in like a strip area. But hey, you can go crazy and get as messy as you want. So let's give this a shot here. All right, again, I'm going to kind of just splash this down. This is like a layer just to cover the base and test the drying time and, just get it on there, not being really particular. I could have used a roller, but then there's cleanup involved, and I just hate that, so. It's nice and thick paint though. Sheesh. And you can see when I'm doing this how textured this floor actually is. And that's, you know, it's got a kind of a cool swirly texture, but it's a mess. So this will just cover it up. I don't have to cover every inch of this with the paint. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want a thin layer of it down to cover up with the other stuff. Gosh, this is going to take forever. Done. Okay, so our paint is dried on the floor, the first layer, and it took about an hour with a fan on, so that's good to know. So now we get to do the fun part. And I've already started prepping this. So I just got a little Tupperware thing, and I poured some of my main paint into it. And then I went through my old cans of paint collection, and I found this chunky reddish brown Valspar exterior paint. It's still chunky. I couldn't hardly stir it. But really what I need in it is the color of it. I wanted to darken this to give a layer that looks different than what's down there already. The only important thing is that they're both latex paint or acrylic. They're not oil. No oil. Oil never dries. Oil self-levels. Don't use oil paint at all. So I stirred this as best as I can. Filled this a little more than half with my original. Put some of that in. I added a little black paint that I had laying around. So the new paint that I've mixed is this and a little black. So it's slightly darker than this. And what we're looking for is a little bit of contrast, a little bit of difference. So we're going to use our really important tool. It's the only tool you're going to need from now on until we do the shellac part. And we're going to start splashing. This is the fun part. I want to reiterate the importance for masking. I know right now you're all excited to get started. You're all ready to be all badass and fling the paint around, and you're like, I can do this neatly. No, you can't do it neatly. I tried, and I scrubbed a lot of paint off my pretty blue walls in my bathroom. So, mask the walls. Mask them up nice and high. You'll be glad you did. Here's the fun part. Most of the time I'm a real perfectionist, but the fun part of this project is there's no perfection. Do your thing, okay? So, do this. And then do it some more. It's gonna drip and it's gonna make a mess. See how I'm splash, splash, splashing? That's why you need all this mask, see? You can put as much or as little as you want, and you're going to do this over and over and over with different colors of paint. So this part is hardly going to show in the end, depending on how many layers you do. And it's kind of fun. Like, your kids can do this, but they're going to make a mess. I'm just saying. So this paint being a thick consistency and exterior paint, it's going to stay ridged like that. It's not going to flatten out and self-level. It's going to stay ridged like that. And if you use the semi-gloss exterior, it actually keeps a sheen very similar to this. Once you walk on it later, it has a little rubbery texture, which is kind of fun, but we'll cover that up with shellac that makes it nice and shiny like the other floor. Wear like crap clothes. Seriously, you're gonna get it all over you. Going in all directions. You want to scribble. Just scribble. As you can see, I have a little more than half of a container left. I'll add something to this. Something darker, something lighter, whatever. I'll edit it a little bit, or I won't. Maybe I'll just do more of this color. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling when I do it. And do it again. And then edit it again and do it again. And then edit it again and do it again. It is not done until you like how it looks. So let's set it up to dry. Okay, so we let that dry for a couple hours with the fan, and some of the big blobs aren't quite dry, so I'm gonna try not to step on them, but you know, most of it is pretty dry. So I added some black to my to the paint that I was already using, and I'm gonna just splash some more. Layer number 2. All right, I'll set the fan up, let that dry again. Cover up my paint. I'll amend it with something lighter, darker, whatever, before I start again. And I'll see you in about 2 hours. So good morning, it's a brand new day. We finished the 3rd layer of this squiggle paint last night, and I let it dry really hard, and I'm beginning again this morning. And I mixed this time white with my original base color because I felt it's time to get some more, you know, lighter contrast into this. Then I started thinking, boy, this is going really slow. It only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to do 1 layer, but I wasn't getting a lot of paint down, and it was going to take at this rate maybe 15 layers. I was getting a little, I'm not going to say bored, I'm going to say innovative. I will create the wheel 5 or 6 times during a project. And so this morning when I was mixing up my base coat, which needed a good mix, and the older paint that I had, which was white, I took out my tool that I mix paint with on my screw gun there. So I thought, ooh, you know, I wonder what this would do if I use this instead of the paint stick for a coat. And let's give it a shot. Why not, right? What's the worst that could happen? What could go wrong? It's beautiful. It's skinny little twirly lines and drips. It's magnificent. It's brilliant. You do have to hold this kind of far away from your body when you do this, because just a little bit of a spin flings the paint pretty good. So let's continue. I've decided that I really like how the floor looks now. I don't want to put any more paint down. I think this is it. It's good. The last step in the paint on the floor is finishing it with a varnish or a lacquer to seal the paint, protect it from, you know, foot traffic, water, whatever. I looked around a lot. I looked at a lot of floor products for this and ended up going with the Minwax Clear Brushing Lacquer. It's not specifically for floors. I don't care. I used it in my bathroom about 6 months ago. Had a little water incident where warm water came out of the tub and was on the floor for about 15 minutes at one point, and wiped up the water and was amazed that there was no damage to the floor. Didn't look any different at all. It was easy to wipe up, easy to clean, and really shiny, which was awesome with the textured floor to have a very shiny finish. It's just, in the whole bathroom remodel, I want to say that the floor is my favorite thing. I won't be able to do that till this floor for a little while because it's January and we're in New Hampshire and it's a negative 19 outside right now or something. Anyway, I wouldn't be able to properly vent. I remember when I did the other floor, really, really strong smell. You really have to vent properly for this. So we'll wait till springtime on a day where I can open the doors and just let it stink. It dried really quick. Within 2 hours I was walking on it. You could do 1 or 2 coats. I just applied it with a nice paintbrush. Make sure your paintbrush says it's okay for the oil-based paints or lacquers, and have a go at it. Then we'll put up some nice trim in here. I'll probably paint these walls too. Make the bathroom and the space out here kind of not clash so badly. And give it a shot. Give it a try. I'm so happy with the results. I'll do it again and again and again. And I hope you have similar results. Thanks. If you liked the video, press like. I'd love a like. Maybe subscribe. I'll do some more. We'll do a video on how I hung this amazing barn door application, the slider door for my bathroom, for like 30 bucks. Yeah, 30 bucks, really. Okay, thanks. Have a great day.